Here's your wrestling news for April 24th, 2022. And your headlines for today include Jade Cargill hits back at racist fan on social media, Tony Khan is trying his best after Satnam Singh's botched AEW debut, recent WWE moment is compared to Scott Hall joining WCW by AEW wrestler, Cody Rhodes should dumb it down for WWE fans, claims Hall of Famer, former WWE NXT champion announces wrestling return, Teases joining AEW, Tyson Fury gives update on his WWE run, match with Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton says one of his many title wins is part of his 10 greatest matches. Harwood and Mick Foley react to reports of Bret Hart signing with WWE, Big E to make TV return next week, and more. We are kicking off today with news from AEW as this week's Dynamite saw AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill continue her undefeated streak and notched up her 30th victory in the company. To get this win, Cargill defeated Marina Shafir, but one fan expressed this unhappiness with the result in a rather tasteless way. Tweeting that the match was a complete disappointment, the fan added that Cargill has a hip-hop bullshit gimmick which didn't go down well with the TBS champion. A proud black woman, Cargill questioned why the fan considers her to be hip-hop and said that his comment says a lot more about the fan who tweeted it than it does about her. At no point has hip-hop been a part of Cargill's gimmick, and judging by her response, the TBS champion clearly believed that the fan was playing up a stereotype about black people. The fan hasn't responded to Cargill's response and likely won't, and while any wrestling fan is free to criticize any show they see, this fan will think twice with their choice of words next time. Earlier this month, Satnam Singh made his debut with AEW, but fans weren't exactly thrilled with his arrival. When the lights went out, fans expected a huge star to appear from another promotion, not a brand new name who took the shine from Samoa Joe moments after his ROH World Television title victory. Tony Khan has even said that he wishes that Singh's debut didn't happen the way that it did, and it appears that he's now looking to make amends. That's according to Matt Hardy, who, when discussing Singh on his podcast, explained how Khan is doing all he can to turn things around. It is what it is, we live and we learn, we all make mistakes. Tony Khan is trying his hardest and he's trying his best, and I love the fact that he was very accountable for it, and he owned it, and he said, well, we probably should have done that differently. Satnam Singh will likely be a huge deal in AEW as he is part of the company's attempts to branch out into India, but we'll have to see how Khan moves forward after this recent setback. In February, Cody Rhodes departed AEW in unquestionably the biggest loss that the young promotion has suffered to date. Not only has Cody left AEW, but he's been on a major role since returning to WWE and seems poised to become a world champion, fulfilling a promise to his late father. Unsurprisingly, Cody's actions have been a talking point among AEW stars, but on the Wrestling Epicenter podcast, Peter Avalon explained why he's excited to see the former TNT champion back in WWE. It's exciting. It's like when Scott Hall went over to WCW and then Jeff Jarrett would go over. Seeing all these big-name wrestlers go and appear on different programs, it was like, wow, this is crazy. Seeing that happen now? Well, this is crazy. I think it's a good thing because it has people talking, and if people are talking, people are making money. Good for Cody. Scott Hall's debut in WCW would launch the era of the New World Order, which served as a launchpad for the Attitude Era, and while Cody's return may not be as big as that, he may just be the first of many AEW stars to jump to WWE. Cody has certainly made an impact since returning to WWE, and seems to be poised to one day challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, but there are some things people aren't sold on. On the post-WrestleMania Raw, Rhodes cut a passionate promo about his father Dusty Rhodes, and a promise to the late WWE Hall of Famer, in which Cody vowed to one day become a world champion in the company. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray discussed this promo and the interviews Cody has done afterwards and gave some unique advice, saying, when it comes to the younger fans, Cody has a very big vocabulary. Cody will use a lot of big words, a lot of words that we might even have to look up in the dictionary just to get the definition. I think with the WWE Universe, Cody should dumb it down a little bit. Keep it very family-friendly, kid-friendly. In AEW, an older crowd, a smarter, more sophisticated crowd maybe, use words that the kids don't have to ask their parents and go, hey, what does that mean? Rhodes certainly has a large vocabulary, And it's true to say that many WWE fans are younger than some of the fans for AEW, but with the role the former TNT champion has been on since returning to WWE, the company may be hesitant to change any part of his character at this time. Last year, WWE released Bo Dallas from his contract nearly 2 years after his last match with the company. Since then, Dallas hasn't wrestled, but said last month that he does plan on wrestling again. And we may know when we can expect to see the former NXT champion back in the ring. At the For the Love of Wrestling convention in the UK, Dallas said he plans on wrestling again within the next 3 months and teased joining AEW, saying he can't wait to get back in the ring with Pac. Pac, formerly Neville, was the man who defeated Dallas for the NXT championship nearly a decade ago, so the former WWE superstars certainly have a history in the ring. After losing the NXT title, Bo's career in WWE never reached the same heights, and perhaps a move to AEW is what's needed to make fans believe in Dallas once more. Back to WWE, and in 2019, Tyson Fury had a brief run in the company, culminating in a count-out victory over Braun Strowman at that year's Crown Jewel. Since then, both Fury and Drew McIntyre have taken shots at each other over social media, teasing a match in the future, and now that bout seems even more likely. Last night, the boxing megastar retained his WBC heavyweight title after defeating Dylan White, and in a post-fight press conference, said fans shouldn't rule out a return to WWE. Addressing McIntyre, the Gypsy King said he knows what the two-time former WWE champion has been saying, and said that he could be back as soon as July's SummerSlam in Las Vegas. Fury also said that with WWE heading to Cardiff for their first stadium event in 30 years, and if the match is going to happen, having the two UK stars face off at the September 3rd show does make the most sense. Until WWE publicly announces anything, any talk of Tyson Fury's return to the company should be taken with a pinch of salt, but after nearly 3 years away, the boxing heavyweight remains confident that he'll one day be back in a WWE ring. Tomorrow, Randy Orton will officially mark 20 years since his first match on WWE TV, where he beat Hardcore Holly on the April 25, 2002 SmackDown. Since then, the Legend Killer has had an incredible career with dozens of title wins to his name, but there is one victory that stands out. At Armageddon 2003, Orton captured his first piece of gold, the Intercontinental Championship, from Rob Van Dam, and praised the bout during an appearance on WWE's official YouTube channel. Watching this match back really brought back memories of some of the stuff I used to do in the ring. I used to do so much more with certain competitors and opponents like RVD because he was so unorthodox. I mean, he kind of pulled stuff out of the hat and get it to work. That's probably one of my top 10 favorite matches. Tomorrow's Raw will feature a special 20th anniversary segment for the Viper, who will team with Riddle to unify the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Usos at WrestleMania Backlash, in what could be another historic moment in the history-making career of the Viper. Earlier this week, we reported on Bret Hart, who, despite plenty of teases by FTR, hasn't joined AEW as many would have expected. Almost immediately after FTR fired Tully Blanchard, they hinted at bringing in Bret as their new manager, but it's been reported that the Hitman has signed a new contract with WWE. This lucrative deal would of course keep Hart away from any AEW shows, though he is being allowed for smaller shows such as Big Time Wrestling, and it's safe to say that FTR aren't pleased. In a tweet, Dax Harwood shared a picture of Bret giving the camera the middle finger, saying it was his mood, and many fans put it together that this is in response to Bret reportedly signing a WWE contract over AEW. Mick Foley did see the funny side of this, as after WWE signed Hart to a lucrative contract to prevent him joining FTR and AEW, the hardcore legend asked for the tag team to reference him more so he could get a bigger WWE contract as well. We know that Bret will manage FTR at Big Time Wrestling, but that won't be nearly as big as a televised AEW event. And until something dramatic changes, don't expect the two-time Hall of Famer on any show run by Tony Khan. And we're ending today with Big E, who hasn't been on TV since his unfortunate neck break last month after taking a suplex outside the ring during the March 12th SmackDown. We know that the former WWE champion won't need neck surgery, meaning he'll be back in the ring sooner than first thought, but fans will be able to catch him on TV next week. Next Thursday, Big E will be on the Nickelodeon series Side Hustle, and while this was filmed before his neck break and therefore not an indicator of his recovery, it'll be great to see the New Day star back on TV. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.